When a life ends in isolation, the first people to enter the home aren't family or friends. They are professionals wearing industrial respirators and thick hazmat suits. Their task is usually seen as a chemical erasure, a process of neutralizing biohazards so that every physical trace of the occupant is scrubbed away. But when the world sees a biohazard, the occupant's final story remains trapped in the silence of that room. Without someone to intervene, the details of how they lived and what they valued are simply discarded as part of the cleanup. This problem is magnified in the dense urban sprawl of South Korea. In these identical apartment blocks, millions live in close proximity, yet thousands pass away in total anonymity. This is the reality of Kdrama, the lonely death, where the walls that provide shelter also serve to hide a person's final moments from the rest of the world. For many, this is the face of the crisis. An aging population outliving their social circles, sitting in quiet rooms with their prescriptions, eventually slipping through the cracks of a society that moves too fast to notice they've gone. But the demographic is shifting. The same isolation is claiming younger generations living in hyper-compressed conditions. They reside in tiny, single-room units where the boundary between living space and storage disappears, making it even easier for a life to go unremarked. The series Move to Headen introduces a different approach to this aftermath. The trauma cleaners here operate on a specific principle. The room is not a mess to be cleared, but a collection of evidence. They look at the debris and see a final message that hasn't been read yet. The process begins with a moment of total silence. Before any cleaning equipment is unloaded, the workers stand in the center of the apartment and remove their hats. They address the deceased by name, acknowledging that they are entering a private life, not just a job site. This pause shifts the perspective of the entire crew. It transforms the space from a contaminated zone into a biography. They aren't there to delete a presence, they are there to witness it. Then begins the sorting. The cleaners move slowly, sifting through mountains of discarded mail, takeout containers, and dust. They look for the items that have been handled with care, a single preserved photograph or a letter kept in a specific drawer, separating them from the accumulated layers of neglect. A stack of mundane bank receipts can provide a map. When arranged chronologically, they might show a parent withdrawing exactly $50 every month, sacrificing their own needs to reach a specific financial goal by a specific date. That pattern of frugality leads to a single spike on the graph: the purchase of a new suit. In the back of a cluttered closet, that suit hangs in its plastic wrap, unworn. The receipts and the garment reveal a story of a father preparing for his child's job interview, a gift intended for a future he didn't live to see. By tracking these everyday objects, the cleaners reconstruct the final days of the occupant. They find that even in a room that looks abandoned, there was a clear human intent behind the things left behind. Everything that truly matters is placed into a bright yellow box. This box is the central tool of the protocol, serving as a physical container for the remnants of a life. This is an act of curation. By stripping away the layers of decay and the irrelevant waste, the cleaners bring the person's actual character to the surface. This process protects the person's dignity. It discards the evidence of their lowest, most difficult moments and preserves their passions, their relationships, and the things they held on to until the very end. The yellow box becomes a final, edited record. It takes a lifetime of complex experiences and condenses them into a form that can be understood by those who were left behind. When the work is finished, the apartment is empty and sanitized. The physical weight of the tragedy is gone, leaving only the bare walls and a clean floor. The final step is the delivery. The cleaners take the curated yellow box and bring it to the family or friends of the deceased. Handing over the box gives the living a way to engage with the dead that doesn't involve the horror of the uncleaned room. It allows a daughter to see her father's sacrifices, or a friend to understand a secret hope, creating a space for a connection that might have been impossible before. Through this process, the cleaners act as a bridge. They find the words that were never spoken and the intentions that were never fulfilled, ensuring that the person's final message actually reaches its destination. The box speaks for those who no longer can. We all leave a trail behind us. It is etched into the books we read, the tools we use, and the items we choose to keep close. These objects are the physical markers of who we were. No life is truly lost as long as there is someone willing to look closely at what remains. If you want to explore more stories of the human experience hidden in plain sight, consider subscribing to the channel. There is always more to see beneath the surface.